Welcome to the Becoming Podcast, presented to you by JCI Bulawayo, going to Zatuna, Zimbabwe. Zimbabwean entrepreneurs with Zimbabwean money, Zimbabwean problems, solutions, and discussions in a country with a rich cultural heritage and interesting stories to tell. Join me, your host, Nhlanhla, as we have powerful conversations with Zimbabwe's entrepreneurs and Zimbabwe's money. So let's make money and have fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, Salibonani, welcome to the Becoming Podcast. This is our second episode presented to you by JCI Bulawayo. I'm your host for the day, Romelo Ngwenya, and we are being joined by an extremely prestigious guest today. These are my words. This is my opinion. I don't care what you guys think, but we're here to have fun. We're here to gain insights and wisdom. Mr. Nhlanhla Dabengwa.
Sure.
Welcome, sir.
Pleasure to meet you, sir.
To the Becoming Podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
No, it's our pleasure. We want to thank you first and foremost for your time and for giving us the opportunity to speak to you. Mm-hmm. So, full disclosure for the audience,
Sure.
You were my senior at a particular school that I will not mention.
Yeah.
Right? Yes, so I'm very comfortable speaking with you because you and I have a shared history. Mm-hmm. But I want to start us off on a very light note.
Sure.
Just to give us a brief history about yourself, your background, where you started, how you've developed over the years, and where you are now currently.
Where I started is when I was born, or?
Anywhere.
Okay, so I think what makes sense is for me to talk about my professional life. So I'll start by when I started professionally. So just as an introduction to those who don't know me, I think that's 99% of the world.
Right.
My name is Nhlanhla Dabengwa.
Yes, sir.
First and foremost, I identify as a Pan-African because I'm a very big supporter of African Union and stuff like that. So secondly, I'm an entrepreneur, the founder of Diamondberry Enterprises, soon to be Diamondberry Africa. So Diamondberry is a multi-divisional business development company. We provide end-to-end business solutions to companies, organizations, brands, and institutions placed in diverse industries and trade. So yeah, basically that's just what the background is about myself. But I would say it started all in 2016, almost 10 years ago.
Yes.
It's a funny story though, because when I started back then, we were into music.
Wow.
Yeah. We started off as a small music studio that used to manage artists and record music and stuff like that.
Wow.
And then, in fact, what happened was I was working for a company, in a local company, which used to be an online school, right? And I was doing the most there because I was tasked to actually come up with a strategy and marketing for the college. Because when I joined the college, it was tanking. So in the space of 3 months, since it was an online college, they had a bit of revenue.
Yes.
And in all that, I was encountered when I wasn't getting paid for my work done.
Okay.
Then I decided, you know what, I've got a passion and a talent that I've been pursuing, which is music. And managing music is my passion.
Okay. Wow.
So instead of me resigning from this work, what I'm going to do is start using the office to hold my own.
Okay.
Hold my own meetings and then start my own endeavor.
Okay, cool.
Because I wasn't getting paid anyway. So that was in 2016, October, November. And I think it was September, October actually.
Right.
And then I built a team around that to say, guys, let's start off something that is going to pursue and push creative entrepreneurs in the city. But since we're into music, let's start off by setting up a music studio. Set up a music studio, a small bedroom studio.
Right.
Signed some artists.
That's how it all starts.
Yeah, that's how it all starts.
It's always in the bedroom or the garage or somewhere.
Yeah, and then what happened then is, obviously when you're starting out, you don't know much, you don't have much.
Yeah.
So what you do is reach out to your close associates, which are your friends, people you go to church with.
Yes.
And this is where it gets tricky because, when you're starting off with people, it's not based on competence or whatsoever. It's just based on who I know.
Yes.
Right. So then I built this young team, and I think it was 5 of us, And then we started having these, but they used to work elsewhere, Started having these lunch hour meetings twice a week, so that we can, develop this thing and see how best you can launch this thing. the first thing we realized was music is not an issue.
Yes.
All right. So which means essentially a product isn't an issue, but getting into the market is the issue. So that's when I started delving more into management and brand management. Yes, but starting off with artists. And then my bosses discovered that this is what I was doing. They fired me.
Conflict of interest.
They're like, no, you're doing too much. But I'm like, I'm also doing a lot for you guys as well, but then I'm not getting paid, you know. So there's a lot of lessons that are going on there. Number one, as when you're building a startup, you need to really take care of the people that work for you because they get to steal from you.
Yes.
Number one. And number two, as we were pursuing this dream, we were on the verge of creating what we call a Masia Kase Festival. We earmarked it in December 2016.
Wow.
Right? And then I got fired, you know. So now we can't host this thing because I'm not fired. So now how do we pursue this thing and how do we
The boss was jealous or something?
Well, it was a mix of a lot of things.
Or you broke a rule, mixture of a lot of things.
I think it was jealousy. The reason why I'm saying it was jealousy because the boss was based in USA.
Oh, okay.
Right. The people that I was working with didn't like the fact that I actually came through and did something in 3 months they were failing to do probably in a year. So already that put a mark on me, if you get what I'm saying. So with that being said and done, we then decided, me and my team, sometime in January,
Yes.
we need to do this again. You know, since it's about Masia Kase Festival, it's really about talking about the, you know, when you talk about Africa, we as Africans identify to the Kasi or the Ngombon culture.
Yes.
That's where all of us come from, even the most successful people we know started
Yes.
off there. So the idea was, you know, there's a lot that we can tap into the economy, the Kasi economy.
Yes.
So we can do this through music, you know. So we went to Matoni Sabah, which is in Popoma.
Okay.
Yes. In Bulawayo, Popoma.
Yeah.
It's a bar. It's a big bar. You know, it's a typical old setting bar which was established in the colonial eras.
Right.
You know, where the batalas used to come there and drink or pick a beer before they go home, etc. So there's a rich culture that comes with that. You get it? So we thought it was befitting to host that thing there for that same reason. And we identified May as the month to do this thing. Because, I mean, it's Africa
Day in May, right?
May Day.
Yes.
So we went and spoke to the lady. So now that I've got this confidence that I've gained from working with my employers before, I know that I'm good at structuring deals. I know that I'm good at negotiating, you know, and setting the dream. So when they sold the dream to the lady laughed and the dream was like, you know what? I know you guys are broke. And indeed, we were broke, you know. I know you guys are broke, and indeed we're broke, you know. I'm going to give you money to market this place because essentially this event is going to market this place. I'm going to give you the money to market this event actually. You know, so he gave us, I think it was $400. Zim dollars.
Wow.
It's very important for me to put it out. It was
Context
$400,
matters.
you know, context matters. You know.
Zim dollars.
Yeah, that was 2017.
2017.
Yeah, but it was good enough to.
Was that bond notes? Wasn't that bond notes time?
I'm not sure. It was bond. Remember, it was 1:1, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah, that was when 1:1 at the time.
Yeah. So that money was enough for us to get an interview at Sky's Metro.
Wow.
It was enough for us to get in, you know, to print out flyers and stuff like that, and even posters. So we had strategically placed the event to the 27th of May, which was on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Africa Day was on a Thursday, right? So we spent the whole of Thursday sticking around stickers, you know, in combis, you know, in Honda Fleets, you know, in wherever, telling people about Masia Kase, all those kind of things. Let's go have some fun, you know, there's going to be academic experiences, cultural stuff like that. Let's monetize this culture of ours. You get it?
Yeah.
This was the idea that was there, you know? And at the same time, we wanted to use this platform as a place to springboard our artists into the market.
Okay.
You get it? The event was so marvelous because they'd never before charged anyone to come through there. But we made about $700 US dollars.
Amazing.
Yeah, $700 US dollars after that day.
Not bond anymore.
Not bond. Remember, it was US dollars because it was $1 to come through.
That's good.
And then after, you know, juxtaposing and distributing the money between the team and everyone else, we all went home with $39 each. Yeah, that's the thing, you know? But for me, that was a turning point.
It's still something.
It's still something.
Still something.
Yeah, we were young then. You know?
Yes.
So what?
Yeah,
gave
but
us-
when you're young, $50 is like $1 million.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
You get the sense. So for us, that was proof of concept. Like, this thing works. We should probably do this better and even scale it up. You know. So my idea was then to say, okay, fine. Then it was in May, and then we launched the Winter Fair in July, the very same year in July 2017. The Winter Fair basically is just looking into the creative economy and seeing how best you can, because those guys are not exactly looked as traditional entrepreneurs, but then to some degree they contribute to the fiscus and to the economy.
Yes.
They need to look at themselves as entrepreneurs as well. I mean, if you look at it, the Amapiano wave or everything that you look at is in the creative sector. It's an ecosystem that involves branding, lawyers, etc. There's a lot of things that go on behind the scenes. It's an economy on its own.
Yes.
So our argument was like, we need to empower these creative entrepreneurs to think entrepreneurial. As whether they're in music, I'm a graphic designer, I'm a fashion designer, whatsoever, you need to think systems. Get the sense?
Yes.
So that's the whole idea.
Okay.
So we then say, let's host an exhibition, a month-long exhibition, and then have some business clinics in between, and then a closing. So essentially the Winter Fair started in 2017. Now remember, we were already confident about ourselves after the successful $39 event.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
For us, we're very confident.
It's still something.
It's still something, right?
Yes.
We launched the Winter Fair in 2017, and the mayor of Bulawayo came through, became the guest of honor.
Wow.
We did a lot of corporates buying into what we were doing by the time, and it was a good thing. It was a good start. So lessons learned again, we realized at that point in time that, you know what, there's a lot we don't know about the industry because we also broke even in that event. There's a lot, everyone has the answer until they get asked the question. Everyone is the entrepreneur until they dive deep into entrepreneurship.
I feel that.
So after diving into entrepreneurship, we then realized there's a lot we need to check, put into balance. Issues to do with registration, because people start asking, are you even registered? You want to host an event here? Where's the tax clearance? Where's this and that? Zimra, stuff like that,
All these guys want you to be above board with their things, yes. And where you're above board with all those things. Yeah,
I mean,
like most Zimbabweans anyway.
Most people were starting out. I mean, we were only like 6 months into this thing, testing out our idea and seeing how best we can work out.
Yeah.
We then sat down with the guys that I was working with. Guys, there's a lot we don't know here. Maybe let's have a long-term vision and let's start this thing at a later stage. But now let's just do some research and development about what we want to do. Build a business model, identify the clients, identify who's going to pay who, etc., blah, blah, and build a business around that. So essentially, like I said, I'm a Pan-Africanist. My whole idea about Diamond Bell is to create ecosystems that support entrepreneurs across all boards. Creative entrepreneurs, tech entrepreneurs, medicine entrepreneurs, whatsoever, as long as this is entrepreneurship. I think entrepreneurship is the wave that will transform Africa to what it's supposed to become.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying?
I agree.
Not just in terms of job creation, etc., but there's innovation. Innovation is driven by entrepreneurs, you get the sense. But most entrepreneurs really have a lot of frustration when it comes to starting out and scaling their business. So we identified a problem. We told ourselves, look, guys, 2018 for 2020. 2020 will go big.
Okay.
We're giving ourselves 2 years to register, to get offices, to build a team, and to do everything else, those kind of things.
Yes.
But what we didn't anticipate was COVID-19 and the induced lockdowns, right? So we took our time. 2018 we just did the Winter Fair, nothing much, nothing more. 2019 we got offices in the CBD. We launched the Exhibitors Corner Business Magazine, which was widely accepted. It was a quarterly distributed magazine. And it was distributed in chambers of business, your innovation hubs, etc. The idea was to promote entrepreneurs and give them a platform where they can be seen, right? Yeah, 2019 was a good year. Starting off on a high note, we registered the company. Yeah. Everything is going well. We got a team, we built a team. So remember those guys that I was starting with were people that were close. This is where things get complicated because now as a business grows in size, it becomes complex to run. So competence is required now. And when you're hiring out people who are competent, they don't come cheap. Because you're not looking at salaries, and you're looking at Zimra pay as you earn, you're looking at quarterly pay deductions, you're looking at office rentals. Because you think like when I'm starting a business, it's just going to be up and go.
Yeah.
But the business, as it grows in size, it becomes even more expensive to run. You get it?
Okay.
So this is where the scaling part comes into play. And if anything, this is where most SMEs tank. You know?
Okay.
I mean, studies show that 72% of startups fail within the first 5 years. And these are the reasons why things happen that way.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Fast forward to 2020, we launched the SME Business Indaba because we have everything in place. We're confident about what we're doing. We've done our research. We've done a proof of concept. We've prototyped our business model. Let's get into the markets.
Wow.
SME Indaba launching. Now we've shifted from basically artists to SMEs and entrepreneurs across all boards.
Amazing.
Making the basket even much bigger and the impact even much wider. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2020, we launched the SME Business Indaba fully packed event supported by corporates. Yeah, man. We're going, eh? We, in April, we then had supposed to do a financial literacy masterclass with one of the largest financial institutions in Zim.
Yes.
To take us through all aspects of finances, from being a startup, financial hygiene, financial literacy, up until listing your business into the stock exchange. That was the whole idea behind that.
Yes.
Fast forward, we go and book the venue, those kind of things. Lockdown.
Along came a beast called COVID.
Unexpected. Acts of God.
Completely unexpected.
Completely unexpected.
I mean, when was the last time we saw something like that?
I think it was during the swine flu.
Right?
Back in the 1940s.
Yeah.
Those kind of things.
And we haven't seen anything like that.
We've never seen something. A pandemic. We've never seen a pandemic ever in our life.
Yeah.
Especially us.
The only scary thing I can remember of maybe is Ebola, but it wasn't even that big of a deal.
Exactly.
Yeah. But not like COVID. COVID was mad. It put a reset to everything. Yeah. So I'm interested in your journey.
Sure.
Because as you were articulating here, I was told of a number of interesting awards and nominations that you had won. For just to name a few: Outstanding Young CEO, 40 Under 40 African Leaders and Young Business Leaders, Emerging Brand in Economic Development and SME Impact. What I wanted to know is, what do these awards mean to you, and what do they signify in your journey?
A lot to me. They signify a team that's resilient, that can rise above the ashes. Because there's something I didn't tell you, actually.
Yes.
Between the period of 2020 to 2021, 2022, mid-2022, we could say it was lockdown era.
Yes.
And you can remember that there were essential businesses that were operating. Some of us were not operating to that time. But as we were not operating to that time, we also were accumulating a lot of debts and rental bills. So 2020, 2021, and 2022 was really about firefighting on our end. Lots of debt, lots of summons, court summons. If you don't pay this thing, we're going to attach this and that. And all I had during that time was probably a chair and a desk and a phone.
Jeez.
And now you're trying to juxtapose with the kind of debt that you have. It was a really tough time for us, But then, if your why you do what you do is very strong, there's a saying that goes, your why is more important than what you're doing. Because your why acts as an anchor. It reminds you of why you started. So we should never at any point forget where we started. Get it?
No, that's powerful.
So we took our time to put our house in order, think about 2 years and stuff like that. Although, because most of the time back then, most of our money in the cash flow came from events, and the events were blocked at that time.
Right.
So we're not making exactly any much of significant income, but our debt was ballooning. So it gave us a wake-up call. Now we need to re-strategize. We need to find ways to reposition ourselves and realign for the new normal.
Exactly.
So systems are bigger than people. That's another lesson we learned there.
Yes.
So 2022, as we got into the whole thing, we were pretty much set end of 2022. Then we're like, 2023, let's start off again. There's no more COVID this time. There's no more excuses. So 2023, we scaled up our SME Business Indaba, racking in hundreds of people coming from all over Zim.
Amazing.
So this is our first event post-COVID era. The Winter Fair, we made it a national phenomenon as well. Then we launched the SME Business Summit, which happens during the Global Entrepreneurship Week in November.
Wow.
we did so well in terms of getting ourselves back up into the feet. That's when we were awarded the award of Outstanding Young CEO of the Year.
Amazing.
That's in 2023.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot.
Awesome.
Yeah, 2023. 2024, we went a step further. Built an ecosystem with the focus of Africa being the focal point.
Yes.
There's no reason why we should be thinking small as Africans. I mean, Africa is our home, and there's quite a lot of challenges. It's up to us as entrepreneurs to meet those challenges and mitigate them and monetize out of them. You get the sense.
Yes.
So yeah, that's the long and short of it. And over the years, as we were getting into this thing, we then started to see how best we can service our clientele and business community. Then we set up strategic business units or divisions per se. That's when we set up Exhibitors Corner, rebranded into a virtual incubation hub. Purpose Seeds becoming the digital arm for Dabengwa enterprises, looking into building digital solutions for SMEs and giving them a chance to survive in a very digitalizing and expensive world. And obviously the years over the time, since 2023 up until now, we've been pretty much in a good space. You know, I think we can safely say another COVID can come already now.
So I can ask you about the number of zeros in your bank account that come before that comma and all that. I'm just messing with you.
So I was ready to answer it.
Really?
Yeah. There's no need to hide.
No. Let's keep it. Let's keep it secret. They say the big guys move in silence.
I wasn't going to give you the figure.
You're a cruel joker, man. Yeah. But I've also noticed that you're very passionate about SMEs.
Sure.
What I'm curious about is why SMEs and not big establishments?
Very good question. It's a very, very good question. I think it all starts with why we started. We started with no money, no competent team, but with a lot of frustration.
No investors.
Up until now, we haven't got external investors.
No external investor ever since you started.
No external investors.
Okay.
It's been the team. So the team is actually the biggest shareholders of what we do.
Good.
So I realized that this is a problem. Access to finance, access to markets, access to information. Actually, it's access to information, access to markets, access to finance in that order.
Yes.
That's how the entrepreneurial ecosystem is built. You first have to inform yourself about what you're getting yourself into. Then you'll be able to then tackle the market in a very confident manner, right? And then from there, you're then able to then seek finance, because finance comes to a business that has got a little bit of traction, there's got a little bit of cash flows. It doesn't necessarily need to be formal, but it needs to be traceable, So we realized that thousands, if not millions, in Africa face that problem. You get a sense?
Yes.
So a lot of frustration happens, a lot of mortality rate in the SME sector.
Right.
You get it? So this is an area that actually requires attention. And we relate better because we are also going through the same thing. So ecosystems are essentially what is needed in Africa, are essentially what is needed in Zimbabwe for us to take our business to the next level. So we took up the challenge of building those ecosystems.
So does it speak to, I don't know if that statistic is true for Bulawayo, right? But there's this constant thing I hear where they say 95% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. Does that apply in this case?
Very much so. It's actually a global phenomenon.
Oh, okay.
It's not only in Zimbabwe, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's a Harvard study that more than 72% businesses fail in the first 5 years. Small businesses fail in the first 5 years.
Right.
And then the remaining 50% of those don't reach the 10-year mark. You get it? So it's a very big challenge. Yet SMEs are literal, or rather emerging businesses. I like to call them emerging businesses.
Yes.
Emerging businesses are the ones that are rooted in communities. Those are the ones that are usually employ the underserved or the underutilized communities. If someone probably is an orphan, is not educated, where does it work? Probably it's an SME.
Yes.
And then from there he can then get a job that can actually pay for his education. So you find that SMEs play a very crucial role in terms of community fabric, social fabric, and stuff like that.
Amazing.
But we don't really pay attention to them outside of service. That's why there's no ecosystem, I would say, in the global south. Most of the global south countries. By global south, I mean Africa, South America and stuff like that. SMEs are really not that much of a think everyone focused on the big guys because they've got a proven track record.
Yeah, like the Coca-Colas of the world,
they've been there,
the Kellogg's, like 100-plus-year-old companies.
There's some legacy there.
Yes.
So yeah.
Oh, I know, that's good. But what do you think are the challenges that we need to overcome to get to the next level as SMEs? Because, the competition is extremely stiff. You're going up against legacy companies. Some of them were there even during the slave trade and they're still dominant now. Sure. Right? But what do you think are the challenges we have to overcome to compete with those guys? And do we even need to compete with them, or just create our little bubble where we can be functional and successful, or there's so many alternatives that we can choose from?
Wow.
A million questions in one.
Yes. But I think the basic answer is mindset. Mentality and mindset.
Powerful.
It's the analogy of a glass. Some say the glass is half full, some say the glass is half empty. So people are negative about the challenges we're facing as Africans. In Zimbabwe, per se. People are hopeless, those kind of things. Then there's the crazy guys, those who believe, the glass is half full.
Yes.
It's actually an opportunity,
Yeah.
So it's all starts with the mindset. So this is where the distinction comes between what we call entrepreneurs, business owners, and people who are self-employed. We hear this talk that, there's a lot of entrepreneurs, those kind of things. But if you were to ask me right now in Zimbabwe about the number of entrepreneurs, I can't count 5.
You can't count 5?
I can't count 5.
For reals?
I just know people who probably know how to manage small businesses, all those kind of stuff.
Yes.
Probably some of them are informal, they're business people. There's no harm in doing that.
Yes.
But then the idea behind entrepreneurship is about tackling problems and seeing how best you can provide solutions where they are least needed and where there's least help. You get it? That's how an entrepreneur thinks.
Okay.
So basically, a mindset is literally the first step to start. How do you overcome that?
Yes.
It's by building ecosystems that support these SMEs, these entrepreneurs, and these emerging businesses, so that their ideas can be scaled up into a level where they can be investable. And this is where Dabengwa comes in. This is where we come in terms of building these infrastructures, building these conversations and ecosystems around support in the ecosystem of the SMEs and emerging businesses.
That's fire. I want to move on to the next phase of the discussion, where we discuss innovation, and you mentioned it in your monologue as you were going through your history, right? So I can see it's one of your passions. I would like to know, objectively speaking, where do you see the state of innovation in Zimbabwe, Bulawayo, or even Africa? We can start grassroots and just say Bulawayo. Where do you see the state of innovation? And is there anything interesting in the field of innovation in general?
Well, it depends. I think it goes into the definition of innovation. What is innovation for starters? So most people think innovation is about coming up with something that has never been seen in the world. Sometimes innovation can literally mean you're doing something different about your business.
Yes, absolutely.
Refining your product, that's innovation.
Yes.
It's about staying relevant in the market, that's innovation. In Bulawayo, per se, there's a company called, I think that's one of the most companies that I can say is the most innovative companies. But they've stayed small and they've stayed rooted in what they're doing. I think those guys, what do they call it? They sell pies.
They sell pies?
Yeah, Oriental pies.
Oh, interesting.
If you ask me, Oriental pies is the most innovative businesses I've ever started.
Oriental pies, right?
Yeah.
The pies are phenomenal, man.
The pies are phenomenal.
They're just phenomenal.
They've been there for decades.
Yes.
I've heard CEOs of companies replay how they first had an Oriental pie. And right now,
that's how legendary
they are.
Pies are. Yes.
Right now they're coming up with new products in pies. We've got mushroom pies, we've got this kind of pie now going vegetarian, stuff like that. They are so accommodative into the changing landscape of the consumers, if you get the sense.
Yes.
That is innovation in its strong sense.
Right.
You start from there. That's a bankable business. That's a bank that, that's a business that a bank can say, let's franchise this and take it to other countries. You get it? So I think it all starts with the mindset, like I'm saying.
Yes.
So if it's about the money, you won't get to that level. Because probably you'll be stealing money from yourself, and you won't be able to innovate or even adapt or even stay relevant for long.
Yes.
So this is where the other distinction comes in entrepreneurship and business owners and everybody else. You know, the one cornerstone of an entrepreneur that differentiates an entrepreneur from everybody else is the ability to delay gratification. You know, delayed gratification means
that's actually a good one.
Right?
A really good one.
It means you've got the ability and capacity to upgrade your lifestyle, but then you're choosing to reinvest into your business so that it can be sustainable. There's systems that can outlive you as a founder.
I mean, some of us want to flex, man.
You know?
We want to buy BMs and hang out at Smokehouse and all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
We're very impatient for the glories of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, I think it comes from the fact that, you know, we wait at the finish line and then pick the winner, then try to emulate the winner from their success story and not how they built up to whatever they are. So another thing, the importance of ecosystems.
Yes.
Because ecosystem also involves people who are into mentorship and people who can tell us relatable stories about what we do and what we need to do to survive. Because there's little or so much we can know as entrepreneurs, especially when we're starting out. So we need to build and bridge that gap between the people that can take us to the next level and the people that have been there. Yeah.
I know, that's powerful.
Sure.
So my next question maybe it's an unfair one, but I'll ask it anyway. Like, when you look at the state of innovation in our country, how do you think it compares to the likes of a China, a Japan, a Europe, and the US? And the context of that question is based on this interesting book I once read. It's called Guns, Germs, and Steel, right?
Yeah.
Like, how Europe was able to develop the way they did and colonize the whole planet was because they created what you're speaking about, ecosystems. Ecosystems where intellectuals, inventors, and innovators, they created a system for themselves where for each invention you create, you're given a patent, you're given money, there's people who invest, and they grew exponentially because of ecosystems. So maybe we can say, in as far as the ecosystems is concerned, how do our ecosystems compare to every other country that's dominating the innovation space?
Africa or Zimbabwe? Or let's just stay in Zimbabwe.
Let's stay in Zimbabwe.
Let's stay in Zimbabwe, but we can't separate Zimbabwe from Africa.
Yes, you can't.
I mean, after all, our governments are now having conversation about creating a single block through the African Free Continental Trade Area. It's here. In 5 years' time, it will be ratified to be working. So we need to be preparing ourselves around that. So if anything, this is the right time to have conversations about Pan-Africanism.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'll put it this way. Our ecosystem in Africa is very fragmented. You get it? In context, Africa is 55 countries. 55 countries, more than 40-something currencies. I don't know how many languages they have.
More than 1,000.
Cultures that are there.
Innumerable.
You get it?
Yes.
And then in that fragmented ecosystem of its own, we don't have the numbers to play the big boys game. You know? Why am I saying so? Because Zimbabwe has got a population which is less than a state in America.
The US.
You know?
Yeah, I was actually once told that Zimbabwe's population occupies just New York on its own.
On its own. And New York's GDP is way higher than most African countries, Africa inclusive. Except with the notable exception of South Africa, of course.
Of course, yes.
But then mentioning China and everybody else, let's also bring context to this.
Yes.
China is a 1 billion population country, you know? And it was driven by entrepreneurs.
Yes.
You know, the likes of Jack Ma and the guys, like I mentioned, these guys were creating ecosystem where innovation was the center of this thing.
Yes.
You know, this is why conversations like, you know, we as Africans need to move from resource-based enterprising to knowledge-based enterprising if we are to compete at a global stage.
Yes.
That means we need to then see how best we can move goods from Cape to Cairo without, you know, cost increasing. How is it possible that a company in China can bring a T-shirt to Africa through Shein, you know, and it's $12 cheaper, latest trend? It's more nicer than what we see in most of the stores, you know, and yours is going for $15-20, it's breaking even. You know?
So but this cheaper version is coming all the way from China.
Yes. So there's issues of economies of scale. So the only way we could participate and be part and parcel of the conversation at a global stage as players, not as consumers,
Yes.
right, is for us to work as a bloc, Africa. I think I like what the policymakers are doing around that.
Yes.
But then the issue then comes in terms of another example, every innovation you see in Africa, let's say the developed countries in Africa, let's say the top 5 are South Africa, Egypt, Morocco, your Nigeria and stuff like that.
Yes.
They say they have advanced infrastructure. They say they have advanced digital infrastructure whatsoever, but who's driving that digital infrastructure? You find that the visa will come all the way from America and be able to penetrate the entire Africa, but we don't have a single payment system in Africa that can accommodate Africans. We don't have probably a single car that's been invented in Africa and being produced in scale. There's no product that can move from Cape to Carry and in those scales. So it's an issue of a fragmented ecosystem. China, America, and the Western guys understood that for them to compete and to colonize, they need to do work as a bloc. So unless and until we do that as Africans, I was about to say earlier on, I wanted to say, the system is designed for us to stay small.
Yeah.
So unless and until the ecosystems that accommodate us to build big businesses, to be able to compete and to research and develop at those levels, we always build small black businesses.
Isn't it? Because I remember arguing with some friends, and it's funny how I reached this realization to say Zimbabwe's economy is structured in such a way where it's like everyone just get as much as you can. We don't reinvest in our own country, our own infrastructure, because sometimes it's not always about business. It's also about building property to accommodate each other, food security, all those kinds of things. Do you think that if we build those ecosystems, we can address these other issues that are outside of the realms of business?
I still come back to say entrepreneurs are the center of this thing.
Yes.
Why am I saying entrepreneurs are the center of this thing? I mean, to give you context, 80% of Africans, it's also applies in Zimbabwe,
Yes.
are unbanked, number one. Unbanked, number one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Most of us are not literally in traditional banks. Most Africans, it's simply because of access, number one. In Zimbabwe, there's I think about 16 banks, all of them posting crazy profits, but 2/3 of the population is not banked.
Wow.
That's exclusion, That's elitism. I think banks are always designed to be elitist
by nature,
all those kinds of things. But entrepreneurs are coming up with ways of serving those underserved people through digital, platforms whatsoever. So why I'm anchoring this conversation around entrepreneurship, because it includes the excluded, number one. So if we were to talk about infrastructure, it should come from a demand-based conversation concept,
Yes.
Just out of context, I remember the people, Tabablas. People are like, Tabablas, those kinds of things. Look in UK, or look in America, look at the interchange that's there. But I was like, it's different because we don't have that kind of population. So unless entrepreneurs drive the demand for people to be able to then go into raw spaces for trade and stuff like that, infrastructure will be difficult to penetrate to those areas. So right now you find that because government can only do so much. Those kinds of, they can put schools there, they can put hospitals there, but then it's an issue of access and affordability there. So this is where innovation comes into everyone involved.
Okay.
So I think entrepreneurship is at the center of everything.
I know. I feel that. So as we conclude, I'm going to ask a series of just rapid fire questions. Then I want brief answers from you. And they're outside of you and your profession. Just basic information that I think could be useful to anyone, even those that are not interested in being entrepreneurs. As an entrepreneur, what are the rules to thrive in Zimbabwe's landscape as of right now?
Compliance, formalize, keep records. Anyone who wants to assist you is concerned about your cash flows. Not is concerned about your car parking out there.
That's true.
All those kinds of
That's
things.
true. Yes, and just a brief insight for the audience. Whenever you're applying for tenders, there are certain institutions that actually want you to give them your bank statements in the last 3 months, minimum of $20,000 to see if what you're doing is actually making sense and making money. So I get the compliance part, because that's where most of us fail. Because even in the part where you say most of us are not banked, but it segues to another interesting question. Bank or under your mattress? Because there is an incredibly gigantic distrust with banks, just in general. People don't like banks, people don't trust them. And there's 1,000,001 conspiracy theories as to why you shouldn't trust a bank. But realistically speaking,
Banks or mattresses?
Banks, in a bank or under your mattress.
As a person, I think it was best for you.
Yes.
Right? As a business, you have no choice, bro.
Yes.
You know, you would rather be smart about it. You know, for example, at work, we pay our bills on the 7th just to create a record.
Yes.
You know, get that money, put it in the bank, withdraw it tomorrow. You know, at least create a record, you know, those kind of things. If you don't trust it, you know, at least some payments into the bank, you know. There has to be something that's going on there. You're creating a record for yourself. So even if you wanted to leave Zim and you're engaging an investor, they're not worried about whether they're making a profit or loss, but they just want to see some proof of concept. Is there someone who's willing to buy this thing, or the traction whatsoever? Okay, even if it's small. I mean, most people who are informal actually drive cars whatsoever, so it means they actually do have the money. But why are they not being scalable? You know, it's that idea of not having records. So I think as a business, again, I don't know whether it's banking or transacting with the bank. You know,
like cash flow through the bank.
Yes. But then of course.
Of course. No, that's a sensible answer. So next one is, how far true is it that it's not what you know, but it's who you know?
Information is power. Information involves what you know.
Smart answer. Information involves who you know as well. So it's not just what you know. Both can be important at the same time.
I'd like to think knowledge is useless, actually.
Really?
Knowledge unapplied is useless. So for you to know who you know, you have to apply your knowledge. That's how you get traction, and that's how you actually get to meet people that take it to the next level. So
all right.
Know who you know.
All right, okay.
Networking. The network is networking.
Networking, okay. Which is why we have JCI Bulawayo here, ladies and gentlemen. Networking is the most important word. The next one would be an interesting one, which I've received a lot of numerous answers on. What is money?
Money?
Yeah.
Well, that's an easy question. Money is money is a social contrast. It's
social contrast.
It's a piece of paper. If you said what is wealth, the answer is going to be different. But what is money? Money is a social contrast.
Yes.
It's a piece of paper. Sometimes worthless. It might not necessarily build you a legacy, but wealth does.
Wealth does. Okay, that's good. That's good. And also, what do you think are the prevailing myths in the Zimbabwean economy? I asked that, just a bit of context. I asked this question to my last guest, and I asked this question to so many people. Why is it that the popular notion is that Zimbabwe has no money? I'm sure you've heard this from when we were in high school, right? Zimbabwe has no money, but as soon as you and me are done with this interview, we're going to see, I don't know how many luxury cars, Benzes, Mercedes, Land Cruisers, cars extremely expensive to buy, extremely expensive to maintain. And these cars are being driven daily. So I am starting to disbelieve the idea that there's no money in Zimbabwe. What do you think? What's your view on that idea? And do you think there's any other myth that we need to destroy to change the mindset as you have spoken about? I know, right?
I want to be politically correct, you know?
Yes,
I want to be politically correct.
But please feel free.
Right? Well, yeah, true to some degree. It's a small pie. But there's a small pie. But it also goes back to the issue of mindset you spoke about.
Yes.
Most of us operate from a scarcity mindset point of view.
Yes.
So basically, if you operate from a scarcity point of view, right, you might not necessarily identify opportunities around you because, to you, the glass is half empty.
Yes.
You know? But money is there, but then it depends on how you're going to fetch it and how you're going to spend it and then how you're going to invest it. Smart people understand. Like if you have conversation with people outside, okay, just recently, Pick and Pay, 10 Pick and Pay posted more than 200 million in terms of profits, right?
Yeah. Wow.
And I was asking someone, you're an SME, bro. Where's your dollar in the 221? You know what I'm saying? You provide detergents, but have you ever went to Team Pick and Pay and said, can I have a conversation about you, how I can comply and be able to provide you with this thing so that I can have a chunk of that 221 million? Because they do the marketing for you after all. Everything else, you just provide them the service, the product which you already are purchasing. So it's just about thinking scale. 90% of the goods that are in that supermarket are foreign and, I mean, they're not locally produced.
Yes.
But we're buying them every day. So I think it's a question of thinking outside the box. Back to what we're saying, if you formalize and record your business, you'll be able to then have conversations with these guys so they can take it to the next level. So money is there, just position yourself for it, but be patient when pursuing it.
Okay, that's cool. Last but definitely not least,
Sure.
We run businesses, we partake in projects, so on and so forth. And we spoke about delaying gratification,
Yeah, sure.
right? But we're still humans. We still need to relax. We still need to have fun, and we still need to chill out, right? Now, last and final light question: what do you, Mr. Dabengwa, do for fun?
What do I do for fun?
And please be as politically correct as possible when you answer that.
I'm a chiller.
You're a chiller.
Yeah, so I chill.
Netflix and chill.
Yeah, Netflix and chill. You know, I'm an introvert as well.
Okay.
So most of the time I spend with those that are close to me. You know, just a few people. Once in a while we do obviously do these everything else. Like stuff.
All right.
I do it at times because I mean, like,
They
it's part
know.
of life. You know?
Every weekend.
Every weekend.
Yes.
You know, I do twice a year. But yeah, in terms of
Say what?
downtime, you know, it's
Twice a year.
political correctness.
Fair enough. You win.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Mr. Dabengwa, thank you so much
Thank you.
for your time and your insights. We hope the audience learned something from this because Bulawayo, we have an interesting reputation. They say we're lazy. They say we're too expensive, amongst so many other things. But the purpose of these discussions we're having is to open minds and change mindsets because mindset is everything.
Sure.
So with that being said, sir, thank you for
Thank
coming.
you. Thank you for having me, guys.
All right, awesome. And most importantly, thanks to the audience for watching. Knowledge unapplied is completely useless. So what you do with the knowledge you've been given here is up to you. With that being said, thank you to JCI Bulawayo. Most importantly, thank you to me for conducting this discussion. And thank you for watching. See you next time.